If you have it, flaunt it, seems to be the motto among Dubai's super rich. You may have seen individuals spending large sums of money on expensive vehicles and homes, but if it isn't made of gold, it isn't worth mentioning in Dubai. This is why the privileged in the city of gold have a very specific selection of items that they see as a status markers. Our list includes some of the most dramatic and outlandish ways that Dubai residents choose to spend their millions, if not billions of dollars. And come to think of it, Dubai is the home of the rich who live in lavishness and grandeur. But who exactly are these people? Today, we bring you the history of the richest person in Dubai. The late Emirati businessman Majid Al Futtaim's life story may be regarded as an inspiring lesson for both Emirati and Arab youth, as he rose from humble beginnings to become a major figure on Arab and worldwide trade. Majid Al Futtaim, a former employee of the Bank of Oman, chose to leave the traditional family business and pursue a career in the automobile industry, which led to massive riches. Dubai was a modest port town on the eastern end of the Persian Gulf when Majid Al Futtaim was born in 1930s, with a natural harbor along a salty creek that was home to pearl divers and smugglers. There was no running water, power, or even paved roads in the area. The world's tallest structure, the Burj Khalifa, and a nearly unending line of luxury shopping malls, including the Mall of Emirates, which touts an indoor ski slope snuggled among retail locations like Givenchy and Rolex, drew tourists to Dubai, which was home to nearly 4 million people and handed another 16.6 million visitors a year. In 1992, Majid Al Futtaim continued his successful career by establishing Majid Al Futtaim Holding Company, which has grown to become one of the largest companies in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia in the field of shopping center management and development, in line with his vision of achieving the happiest moments every day for everyone. Majid Al Futtaim's projects are now extended throughout numerous nations, thanks to a succession of successful mega projects that have gained widespread acclaim and employ over 34,000 people. Mr. Futtaim's retail and property investment civilization has crafted him the wealthiest business person in Dubai and one of the highest earners in Arab world. Many of those malls and other attractions, in fact, has brought Dubai roaring into modernity over the last few decades, are the work of Mr. Futtaim, whose retail and real estate empire has made him the wealthiest businessman in Dubai and one of the wealthiest in the Arab world. Mr. Futtaim pioneered the Western-style consumer experience in the Persian Gulf with his first mall, which opened in 1995 and included shopping, dining, leisure, and entertainment. A decade later, at the height of the Gulf region's economic boom, he opened the Mall of the Emirates. Mr. Futtaim's development was unaffected even by the boom's disastrous conclusion when growing debt nearly led Dubai into default during the 2009 economic crisis. By that time, he'd expanded throughout the Middle East and North Africa with malls and supermarkets. By the late 2010s, the business had expanded to Kenya and Uzbekistan with intentions to go even further. Dubai's concentration in trade and its transformation into traveler's paradise was born of necessity. Unlike Abu Dhabi, and indeed most of the Persian Gulf republics, Dubai has practically no oil to exploit. It did, however, have a natural port and a strategic location just inside the Strait Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf's main entrance, where commerce ships from India and East Asia could rest after a long journey. Motivated by the surges of Arab nationalism that swept the Middle East in 1940s and 1950s, the Al Futtaim family were ardent proponents of independence from Britain, which had constitutional sovereignty over Dubai and 8 other Gulf sheikdoms designated as the trucial states. Sheikh Rashid bin Said Al Maktoum, Dubai's ruling family, struck a deal with the city's commercial elite. The government would grant them monopolies over imported goods and the right to exclusive deals with foreign businesses in exchange for their support. The Al Futtaim family, for example, won a lucrative deal with Toyota, which gives it control over roughly 30% of the Emirates auto market even today. Unlike other families who only served as gatekeepers for foreign companies, the Futtaims actively participated in adapting retail to the local market. Ace shops, which primarily sell hardware in the United States, are more like department stores in the Middle East under their ownership, providing not just hammers and nails, but also other household items. For decades, the Al Futtaim family controlled as a single entity, the Al Futtaim Group. But in the 1990s, the Al Futtaim group began to disintegrate due to a feud between Majid and his cousin Abdullah. The feud became so fierce and damaging to the family company that the royal family was forced to interfere. Mr. Futtaim launched his own firm in 1992, and 3 years later, he constructed his first mall, the City Center Deira. It was a watershed moment. Not only did it introduce Dubai's growing middle class to Western-style shopping, but it also combined it with family-friendly dining, leisure, and entertainment options. Mr. Futtaim surpassed himself as a decade later with the opening of the Mall of the Emirates, the region's largest and most elegant indoor retail mall at the time. Its 5-acre indoor ski slope gained international notice as well as some ridicule as an indication of either the region's monetary success or its Ozymandian extravagance. The fact that Mr. Futtaim's malls were about more than simply shopping and relaxation was lost in the criticism. Despite being constrained by commercial and government interests, they provided much-needed public space to Dubai residents, both inside and year-round, and helped to establish Dubai as a destination for rich tourists for Europe and Asia.